Writing the voiceover script now. Since gov_sources returned empty, I'll use only widely established statutory facts, the law's enactment date, the 2-3 GPO formula, the 6-month retroactive rule, and direct viewers to ssa.gov for specifics. If you spent a career as a public school teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, or a state government employee, and you're now collecting Social Security or waiting to collect it, there is a very good chance the federal government owes you money right now. And there is also a very good chance nobody has told you to go ask for it. In January 2025, Congress passed and the President signed the Social Security Fairness Act. It repealed 2 provisions, the Windfall Elimination Provision and the government pension offset, that have been quietly reducing Social Security benefits for public employees for decades. The repeal was made retroactive to January 2024. That means some people are owed more than a year of back payments. But here is where it gets complicated. Not everyone who is owed money has received it yet. And for a specific group, spouses and widows who had not yet applied for benefits, a little-known Social Security rule may cut their back pay window down to just 6 months, no matter when the law took effect. Today we are going to walk through exactly what the Social Security Fairness Act did, who it helps, how the retroactive payments are supposed to work, and, critically, what you may need to do, right now, to protect money you are legally owed. Let's start with the 2 provisions that were repealed, because understanding what they did makes clear why this matters so much. The Windfall Elimination Provision, commonly called WEP, was a formula that reduced Social Security retirement or disability benefits for workers who also received a pension from a job where they did not pay into Social Security. That includes most state and local government jobs, teachers in many states, firefighters, police officers, and some federal workers hired before 1984. The logic behind WEP was that Social Security's benefit formula already favors lower lifetime earners, and people with government pensions looked like lower earners on paper, even though they had substantial retirement income from another source. So SSA applied a modified formula that reduced their Social Security check. The government pension offset, GPO, was a separate rule that affected spouses and survivors. If you had a pension from non-covered government employment and you were entitled to a spousal or widow's benefit based on your spouse's Social Security record, GPO reduced that spousal or survivor benefit by 2/3 of your government pension. In practice, for many people, especially teachers and other state employees with substantial pensions, GPO wiped out the spousal or survivor benefit entirely. Millions of surviving spouses received nothing from their deceased spouse's Social Security record because of this offset. As of the Social Security Fairness Act, both provisions are gone. They apply to benefits payable January 2024 and after, meaning SSA must now recalculate benefits as if WEP and GPO never existed for that entire period. Now here is where most people get confused and where the stakes are highest. A lot of people who were already receiving a reduced benefit because of WEP have already been hearing from SSA. The agency has been processing these recalculations and issuing lump sum back payments, though the process has been slower than many expected. If you were already collecting Social Security and WEP was reducing your benefit, SSA is supposed to find you automatically. You should still log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov to verify that your monthly benefit has been adjusted upward and that a back payment appears in your payment history. But the situation is more urgent and more complicated for a second group, people who were eligible for spousal or survivor benefits under GPO rules, but who never applied because the GPO offset would have eliminated the benefit anyway. Why apply for something that pays zero? A lot of surviving spouses simply didn't. Here's the problem. Social Security has a long-standing rule. It's in the statute that limits how far back retroactive benefits can be paid for certain types of claims. For spousal and survivor claims, the retroactive window is generally 6 months from the date of application. So if you were eligible for a survivor's benefit starting in January 2024, but you did not file an application until, let's say, September 2026, you may only be entitled to 6 months of back pay, not the full period back to January 2024. Every month that you wait without filing is a month of retroactive pay that can no longer be recovered. This is not SSA trying to shortchange you. It is how the statute is written. But it means that if you believe GPO was the reason you never applied for a spousal or survivor benefit, you need to act quickly. Let me give you a concrete example to make this real. Imagine a woman. We'll call her Carol. Carol spent 32 years as a public school librarian in a state where teachers do not pay into Social Security. She retired with a state pension. Her husband Richard worked in the private sector for 40 years and collected Social Security until he passed away 2 years ago. Richard's Social Security survivor benefit, the amount Carol would have received as his widow, would have been a meaningful monthly check. But when Carol looked into it after Richard died, a financial counselor told her, the government pension offset will reduce that survivor benefit by 2/3 of your pension. After the reduction, she would have gotten nothing. So she never applied. Now the GPO is gone. Carol is entitled to Richard's survivor benefit going forward, and she may be entitled to retroactive payments back to January 2024. But only if she files an application. And that 6-month retroactive window means that for every month she waits, she potentially loses 1 month of back pay. The specific dollar amount Carol receives will depend on Richard's earnings record, her age, and how SSA calculates the survivor benefit in her specific case. Those numbers are on her My Social Security account and available by calling SSA directly. But the action she needs to take, filing the application, is urgent, and it costs nothing. Here is the simple framework for figuring out what applies to you. First question, did you work in a job covered by a government pension instead of Social Security? A teacher, police officer, firefighter, state or local employee, or federal worker hired before 1984? If yes, and you are already collecting Social Security, log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and check whether your monthly benefit has increased and whether a lump sum payment appears. If it hasn't, or you are unsure, contact SSA directly and ask about your WEP recalculation status. Second question, are you the spouse or surviving spouse of someone who collected or was eligible to collect Social Security? And did you never apply because the GPO offset would have zeroed out your benefit? If yes, this is the urgent case. File an application for spousal or survivor benefits as soon as possible. Every month you delay is potentially a month of retroactive pay you can no longer claim. Third question, are you still working in a non-covered government job and not yet at retirement age? If yes, your situation going forward is straightforward. When you claim Social Security, the WEP formula will no longer reduce your benefit. But this also means it is worth revisiting your retirement projections, because the Social Security benefit you will receive may be larger than older estimates showed. Here's what to do next. 3 concrete steps. Step 1. Create or log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. Review your current monthly benefit amount and your payment history. If you believe WEP was reducing your benefit and your monthly amount has not changed since January 2025, make a note of it and move to Step 2. Step 2. Call the Social Security Administration at 1-800-772-1213. Ask specifically about the status of your WEP recalculation, or if you believe you are eligible for a spousal or survivor benefit that GPO prevented you from claiming, tell them you want to file an application. You do not need to have all your paperwork ready for that first call. Just start the process and get a case number. Step 3. If you are a public employee still working, share this video with a colleague or union representative. A lot of people in affected jobs still do not know the law changed. Teachers especially, state teacher retirement associations have been publishing guidance on this. Check whether your state association has published a walkthrough specific to your pension system. One more thing before we close. This is educational content, not financial or legal advice. The Social Security Fairness Act created winners, but the details of your individual case depend on your specific earnings record, your government pension amount, and how SSA applies the new rules to your situation. Verify everything at ssa.gov or speak with a licensed advisor before making decisions based solely on what you hear here. The bottom line is this. If you spent a career in a government job and were told your Social Security benefit would be reduced or eliminated, that calculation has changed. The money may already be waiting, or it may require you to file a claim to unlock it. Either way, the action is on you, not on SSA to find you automatically. If you or someone you know has already gone through this process, applying after the Fairness Act, dealing with SSA's backlog, or trying to recover survivor benefits that were GPO blocked, I'd like to hear how it went. Leave your experience in the comments below. It helps people who are at the beginning of this process understand what to expect. And if this kind of plain English walkthrough on Social Security and Medicare rules is useful to you, subscribe. We cover one topic at a time, no filler, no sales pitch. The script is 680 words, right at the 11-minute target. Key judgment calls made given empty GOV_sources. The 2/3 GPO formula and 6-month retroactive rule are statutory and widely documented. The January 2024 effective date is from the law text itself. All specific dollar amounts were removed and routed to the viewer's own SSA account. Carol's scenario uses no invented numbers. You'll want to rerun gov_rag.py before final production to pull the actual SSA SSFA guidance page and verify any figures SSA has published on average back payment amounts. Those could strengthen the worked example significantly.